ID show for Fortnite.
Welcome back to the Liberty Hour, streaming through Spreaker Studio, the 16 Jackson AJ1 Twitter account, and what will later be posted on my A2 Jack YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out if you get the chance. We are right back here talking about what's been going on with the coronavirus and COVID-19 with my good friends Ricky, Michael, and Aleeyah. There were a few things I wanted to touch on, but before I do so, Michael, you were kind of just responding to your thought on the media aspect side of things in terms of it's just people that are hoarding. And I kind of wanted to start asking this question, because this is something we've seen a lot when it comes to this virus, is people who are hoarding all sorts of types of products. Obviously toilet paper is one of the big ones. Water's another one. Hand sanitizer's big. You're seeing a big secondary market for that is just skyrocketing. People trying to sell bottles for like upwards of $20 a piece, which is just crazy to think of. But I just want to get your guys' thought. I mean, we were just talking a little bit about the media having to play a little bit of a role in that, but what other factors do you think are playing into people feeling like they need to hoard so much of these items when in reality they don't? Michael, go ahead.
Talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
What's making them hoard?
Yes.
Because they're scared. They're little girls out there,
Because of the media, bro.
No, it's not because of the media. It's the media isn't lying. It's there. Well, from what I've seen at least, it's not lying. It's just what's happening, and then people get scared because of that. And like their little bubble gets infiltrated a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think it's lying, but it's definitely exaggerated.
Over-exaggerating.
It all comes down to social pressure.
I don't know what you guys are looking at, right?
Michael, do you know what social pressure is?
I don't feel no social pressure. You
can ask my boy A2 Jax over here. He can give you a crash course.
Well, I think that when you guys talk about it, I think it's a little bit of both, definitely. And it's a matter of people being scared. It's a matter of the media hyping that up, but it is real at the same time. But at the same time, you don't need all of these items. Now, what to me is more important is how you solve this issue. And, I haven't heard it being as much of an issue as of late. I'm sure it still is. I haven't been to stores really as much lately.
It still is.
But I mean, my thing is there's two ways I think that you can solve it. One of them is, it's a strategy that I'm not a big fan of, but in cases like this, I have heard arguments that have been semi-convincing in this realm. One is you could price gouge and upper the price of certain items to where less people buy them, and that way you don't create as much of a demand. The second thing that you can do, which I think is more of a realistic thing, which you're seeing a lot of businesses starting to do, is put a limit on the amount of items that these people can buy, regardless if it's online or in person. Give me your thought on those two solutions and why you think one might be better than the other in terms of being able to have everybody get what they need during this time of crisis. Anybody can start on that.
I'll say I think the second solution is much better because that allows each individual to have a equal chance, and that's important because the less fortunate, like even if you up the prices, rich people are going to be able to buy it out, right? Mm-hmm. So the second option is much better for that reason.
Okay, and then Ricky, what's your thought on that?
Okay, I definitely agree with the second one. Limiting, that's something I thought should have been there from the very beginning, and something that I actually found interesting that I read today. I was out with Aleeyah today. We went to the stores. There's still some shelves that are, completely disappeared of products, but like it's not as bad as when it was like 2 weeks ago, dude. 2 weeks ago, even last week, it was worse than how it looks today. Like at Sprouts or at Target and Walmart. Like I said, it's still bad. But definitely, I thought from the beginning we should have just limited things. We should have limited like one toilet paper roll family, like 2 cases of the 50 packs of waters for families at least for a week. I mean, I'm sure 100 water bottles can last you a good week. But what I found fascinating was that there are signs saying that some stores are open the first hour. Oh, it was the Dollar Tree. That's where it was. Some stores are open the first hour specifically for seniors, and I'm sure there are stores out there that are specifically open for like pregnant people too, at least for the first hour, so they can have more of a priority to get what they need for their infants or for the older people who are more prone to it. Because if you go to Costco in the beginning, it was hard for them to get what they needed due to all the other families that are like willing to wait there for 2 to 3 hours and like buy out everything. By the time some senior needed to go get what they needed, they were SOL. Like there's nothing there for them. And they had no idea what was going on. They had no idea about this whole media thing that like everybody's in a panic and stuff like that.
Right. Now,
Sucks.
well, you've been out. You said you've been out and you've been seeing what's been on the shelves and whatnot. Have you noticed any other items outside of water, toilet paper, hand sanitizer, whatever that have been very low? I know I seem to remember from what my parents told me, bread seems to be very low. Have you noticed any other things?
I was about to say bread.
Yeah,
marinara sauce.
Bread for some reason too, dude.
Frozen meat has been gone as well.
Yeah.
Like everything frozen is like not
that's
there.
right. I remember hearing about that from Costco. Yeah, I do remember hearing that one. Yeah.
You know why?
We're there at Walmart and stuff because that's where we checked for the frozen aisle food. I actually want to go get some pizza rolls today. But yeah, dude, the frozen aisle still sucks. There's actually more bread now. Literally a week ago, there was not a single loaf of bread anywhere in the store. And then, we went to Sprouts, but there was two left.
We did go to Sprouts.
There was two left on the shelf, and Sprouts actually did have a sign saying only 2 per customers, please.
Now, Michael, it sounded like you were going to say something on that realm in terms of other items and stuff. Did you have anything you wanted to say on that realm? No. Okay. Cool. Now, I guess I'll go ahead and I got to remember exactly what it was. I guess I'll get Aleeyah. I'll get you in on this as well. As I just asked them, kind of same question. Why do you believe there's so many people outside of the media side of things? What do you think is the better option in terms of the two, which is limiting the amount of items people can buy, and if so, what should that limit be? Or do you think upping the price would be like? What's your thought on those solutions?
I think that the second one is good, especially because everyone is going on unemployment right now. Not everyone, but a large group of people are. And I don't know if this goes for everybody, but they said that you only can get up to $600 a week. And one of my parents actually lost their job because of it, and they have to go on unemployment, and they make $1,000 a week. So it's like not even close to how much they would make. So it's definitely like a big deal. And I don't know. I just feel like sorry, I got sidetracked. I just feel like making things limited would be much easier for everybody than trying to raise the price, because I feel like they'd lose a lot of profit as well. If people would be like, screw that.
I did want to update on that unemployment thing because that's what it was originally. However, there was I believe a provision in that bill that was signed or passed by the Senate that still has to be voted on the House, I believe either tonight or tomorrow, that does mention something about workers being able to get so this is what it says right here. Under this bill, average Americans who have been furloughed will be able to receive up to 100% of their salary and their health insurance for 4 months. So they will still be able to receive up to what their original salary was for up to 4 months. So for your parents, through this crisis, if it takes 4 months, if it takes up to 4 months, they will still likely be receiving that amount of their salary. I still believe that this bill does only cover people who make $75,000 or less. However, however, it does look like the unemployment will be covered in that realm. So I think that we'll be all good in that realm. So that should be all right. But while we're on this issue, and while I was talking to you, Aleeyah, it made me think of something, because I know that one of the biggest things you preach is positivity. You have had multiple videos on your YouTube channel that have preached that and everything. And during these times, it's likely, I've been looking at a lot more of this stuff the last day, of the impact that this could have on some people's mental health and how hard it might be to cope with this during this crisis. I guess what is your message, or what are some of your recommendations for people who do go through these types of struggles? What do you think are some things that they can do to stay mentally well during these times, where there is an increased anxiety, from just common everyday people? What do you think that people who go through these issues can do to, what was your message for preaching happiness, I guess, in the realm, or how to make these people more well?
Definitely. I've been going through a lot of anxiety with all of this as well. I think the main thing to do, especially in this time, is one, to unplug, like get away from the media for a little bit, do something you like to do, something that makes you happy, or something that makes you feel like security. Sure. And second, I really think getting into nature is like a really good thing right now. Like just that's also kind of a way of unplugging, like going on a hike or just immersing yourself in something else.
Is it doing it again?
Unmute yourself.
All right, sorry. All right, go ahead and continue. I'll mute myself.
No, you're fine. Yeah, definitely getting into nature, unplug, and surrounding yourselves with things that make you feel good. Whether it be if you like to writing, if you like to exercise, a good show, like something that really makes you feel good.
Yo, dog, mute yourself.
I am muted right now. I don't know why it's still screwing up so badly, but I apologize if there's still any audio issues. I might have to continue to unplug and plug back in my mic, but go ahead and continue, Aleeyah. I'm going to try to work through this. Is that better? Better?
She's not talking.
Hello, test run. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No?
It might be a little better.
Better?
It's fine.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I think so.
All right, good.
Well, that was the end of my rant anyway. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
I have a quick question for
Yes.
Aleeyah, though.
Yeah.
What if media makes you happy?
Well, then control what you want to look at on the media. Because there's times where I'll go onto Google and I'll about to type in YouTube or type in something I want to do, and then I see all these headlines and I get lost in clicking and reading, and then 30 minutes later I'm freaking out because I've been reading 20 different articles. And so filter through what you want to see. Especially, I mean, don't not look at the news because it's important to know what's going on, but at the same time, don't just be so lost in it that that's all you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, filter yourself a little bit.
With a grain of salt is what you're saying.
Not exactly. There's times to be informed and there's times to just get away for a second. And you need to decipher which time you need.
Filter. Yeah. Noted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In a related question, and this is something I guess I'll ask all of you guys. I kind of explained how for me it's helped out a little bit during these times, but what do you think is a silver lining to all of this? You know, where everything's closed, we kind of have to stay home. Everything. For you personally, and just overall, what do you think is a silver lining to all of this that you could actually look at as a positive for what's going on right now? I guess I'll go ahead and start with you, Aleeyah.
Wait, with who?
With you.
Oh, Judy. Sorry. Okay. Well, personally, I've been thinking about this a lot since this whole quarantine started. Yeah, since this whole quarantine started, I really think, like, as scary as it is and as confusing and unknowing what's going to happen, I think it's forcing people because, like, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but so many people are outside now exercising or, well, they were playing sports or stuff like that. I just feel like it makes you, like, spend time with yourself in a way. Like, it makes you start focusing on things that you didn't really focus before because you were so distracted with work and with doing this and doing that, going out. Like, I just feel like if you want to look at it in a positive way, it's time to, like, start new things, like, within yourself. That, like, a weird, like, meditation thing to talk about, but I don't know. Just definitely that. Like, I lost my job and I've been home and I've been wanting to write a book for so long, but I had never had time, and now I have all this time. I'm like, all right, totally focused on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think that you make a good point there with the positives that can be gained. Exercise is one of those. I mentioned that early in the podcast. For me, I've been exercising a lot more with this, so that's very good. Obviously, not going out to eat as much, so you can cut back on some calories.
Saving money
for your health, saving money, exactly, stuff like that. Ricky, I guess I'll get your thoughts on this. What is a silver lining for you throughout all of this?
People getting off their phones and actually communicating with each other.
Man.
I don't know, dude. It was weird because, like, when was it, last Sunday or last Saturday? I was going to my sister's house to help my brother-in-law with his garage, and I was like, it sounds weird, but like I was like heartwarmed to see that there was actually people at the parks. Yeah, there was people at the parks. There was people actually playing with their kids. People actually on like the apparatus, which is what they're not supposed to be on now because now they prohibited that. But there was like actually like kids playing with each other on the playground, just like back when it was like for me growing up. Because it's been so long since I had seen people just go out and socialize.
Unfortunately, my time is running out with part
like
3. We will continue this in part 4. We'll be right back.